It's a little bit early and it's a little bit cold here in Michigan, but there's a buck that I really want to kill. Go, Blue. Um, Go get that buck, everybody. But really, I'm after a 10 point at least. I don't know if he has any brown ties, brown tines, but he has been hanging around my property for a little while now, and I went got my license, got everything. You see the one that's hanging up there? That was shot out that window, and that's where I'm at right now, going after this big one. I've been letting them grow for the last couple of years, and finally, one is worthy of shooting. So I am ready to go here out in the garage with my 450 Bushman, a Ruger, and I'm ready to get the job done. But we're talking week 13 picks. How did I do last week? I went 8-4 against the spread, not including Alabama and Florida State because their spreads versus nobody's were not available last week. Alabama versus Chattanooga and Florida State versus Northern Alabama were not available. I had them both covering, though, after the spread came out finally. I finally found it after I had my video, and I had them, but we will not include that for last week. In 14 games, I went 11-3, picking the game straight up. You know, the winners of all the games. So not too shabby. It's not been a bad season for Mr. Dependent Fanatic here. But here we go. Thursday. This is kind of an interesting week. It's rivalry week. You got a whole bunch of games on Friday. You got a whole bunch of games on Saturday. There's one game on Thursday. And I'm going to tell you what, and that's Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Today is Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys enjoy the video first and foremost, but your Thanksgiving as well. This could be a little bit long of a video. It already is 2.5 minutes, sorry. But Ole Miss on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern Time is at Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. And my prediction was Mississippi was going to win this game 35-24. The line was 10.5, so that's too close. That's too close for me to bet this game, and it's a Thursday game. I hate betting Thursday games and Friday games for that matter, but the more great games that are on Friday, there's a bulk of teams that have to deal with a Friday game, so I am not too concerned about Friday games this week, but I'm going to stay away from the Mississippi game. Even though I have them winning by 11 and the line's only 10.5, I'm going with Ole Miss to beat the spread, but I'm not going to bet it. All right. Friday at noon, TCU is at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is favored by 10 points. I had them winning by 14, 38-24. TCU is not the same team that they were last year at all. Speaking from a Michigan fan who they beat, they do not have Max Duggan. Okay, he was the guy. So I have Oklahoma beating the 10-point spread, and I'm going to bet that game. That's a noon game. Also at noon, Iowa, who already has clinched the Big Ten West Division, is at Nebraska. Nebraska is favored in this game somehow by 2.5 points. I don't understand it. I think Iowa can score 20. Even with their putrid offense, they can score 20 points against Nebraska and get 10. Only allow 10 points versus Nebraska. So give me Iowa. They're going to cover this. They're going to cover the spread. Give me the money line, I suppose. At 4 o'clock on Friday. Man, I can't wait for these games. tomorrow's going to be awesome. We got Thanksgiving, and then Friday, all these games. And then Saturday, more games, and then Sunday, NFL. It's just a beautiful time. Friends, family, and football. And food. The greatest food ever. Turkey, stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes. Oh, I can't wait. At noon, or at 4 o'clock, Missouri is at Arkansas, and Missouri is favored by 9 points. I had them winning 34-20. I do my predictions before I look at the spread, and then I determine whether I would bet it or not. And I have Missouri winning by 14 points on the road at Arkansas. I'm going to bet Missouri that they will beat the spread by 9. Give me that. At 7:30, Texas Tech is at Texas. Texas is the king of close games lately, but I think they're going to turn it on because there's only a couple games left, and they have to have a great they have to prove to the committee that they are better than Alabama, a team that they beat. You know, it's crazy the position where Texas is in right now. I think they win 42-20. And they're only favored by 14. Give me Texas minus 14 points. I'll bet it. At 7:30 as well, Penn State is at Michigan State. Michigan State got blown out by the two teams that beat Penn State. So can Penn State blow Michigan State out as well? Michigan and Ohio State both took the soul of Michigan State. I think Penn State can too. 37-13 is what I had. They're favored by 21. That's a 6-point difference. Give me Penn State minus 21. I'll bet it. Now, the last game on Friday that I'm going to do for all of you is Oregon State at Oregon at 8:30 at night. Oregon is favored by 13.5 points. I think Oregon wins 41-20. Like I said, they're going to have to prove that they are a legitimate team. They have to win this game to get to, well, maybe they already are in the Pac-12. I haven't looked that up, but in the Pac-12 championship game. But they have to win this game, I think, to make it to the Pac-12 championship game. If not, they might take it easy, but I don't think so. Dan Lanning is going to want to they have to beat Oregon State by a lot, okay? Oregon State is the team being left behind. Oregon is going into the Big Ten next season. They got to go in there on a winning note, and I think they will. They'll cover the 13.5-point spread. I'll bet it. Now, Saturday at noon, the first game is the game, Ohio State at Michigan. Now, if you saw my preview for this game, you know I thought it would be a close game, but the more I think about it, and the more I think this team is amazing. Ohio State hasn't been here before at Michigan Stadium. Cal McCord, a lot of these people have not been there. I'm going to add a field goal to Michigan's score. I thought we would miss a field goal in this game in my earlier prediction. I think we will make a field goal. Tanner is great for Michigan, 9 of 11 on the season. But also, I think Michigan will get after Kyle McCord. And I think a turnover in a crucial situation will give Michigan 7 more points, whether it's a pick six, a blocked punt, whatever it is. They are the better team. I think Michigan wins this game 38-24 now. I had 28-24 earlier. Michigan's only favored by 3 now. It was 4.5. Now it's bet down to 3. Give me Michigan all day. Cover the spread. Bet it. It's going to happen. And also at noon, Kentucky is at Louisville. and I thought Louisville would win somewhere between 34 to 30. They'll score on Kentucky, but I thought they would give up some points to Kentucky. I'm going 30-20. Louisville will win this game, and the spread is 7.5. So give me Louisville. Bet it -7.5 at 3:30 on Saturday. Alabama is at Auburn. Alabama is favored by 14 points. I thought they'd win by 21. Give me Alabama -14. Auburn just lost to New Mexico State, a Group of 5 team, last week. So 38-17, Alabama will win this game. At 4 o'clock, Washington State is at Washington. Washington, I think, will win this game 41-27. That's only 14 points. The line is 16.5 for Washington. Give me Washington State. There's got to be an upset. Where have the upsets been? What have been the major upsets all season? Which is the biggest one? I don't know. There really hasn't been any. Will Rivalry Week change all of that? It's time to find out right now, and I think Washington State will give Washington a scare, but they won't win, but they will cover. Give me Washington State plus 16.5 points. All right, at 7 o'clock, Florida State at Florida. Florida State coming off the big win versus Northern Alabama, but they lost Jordan Travis at quarterback out for the season. I think Florida State, just for that reason, will lose this game at Florida. Florida's not a horrible team. They are a team chock full of talented players. And now that Florida State doesn't have their leader and orchestrator of the offense, it could go that way. I'm thinking Florida 28-24. Florida State's favored by 6.5. Give me Florida plus all them 6.5 points. At 7:30, Georgia is at Georgia Tech. This is going to be a blowout. Just depends on. Georgia is already in the playoff if they beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. So they're not worried about this game. They're not worried about style points. They're not worried about beating the spread at all. Win the game versus little brother on the road, and then beat Alabama in the championship game. And I think it's close. I mean, the line was 24, okay, for this game. I had 38-13. That's 25. So I was right there, but I'm not going to bet this game because I think Georgia is just going to kind of coast through this game. They don't have to prove anything to anybody. They're going to win, but maybe not beat the spread. I think they will. I'm staying away. At 8 o'clock Saturday, the last game for you guys of my picks, North Carolina is at North Carolina State. North Carolina is favored by 2.5. Both these teams are 8-3. North Carolina has bad losses, and NC State as well. But I think at home, it's the home game here for NC State. They need this. I think they'll get it. 34-27. North Carolina will win. NC State will win outright. Give me them plus 2.5. So that means money line. Let's go. So there you go. At the end of the season, I'll have to put all my predictions together and tell you how I've done. There's been good weeks. There's been bad weeks. There's been weeks where I've tied and broke even. So it'll be interesting to look back and see and total up all the wins and losses. And I will do that. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video, share, subscribe. And it's Rivalry Week. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great Thanksgiving. But go blue, everybody.